So it's Friday the 19th, and today I have an appointment to get, I guess, all the mucus out because baby still isn't here. Last night was pretty rough. I had just lightning pains, which were really uncomfortable, and they were on and off, and baby feels a lot lower, just not out yet. So we're gonna go to that appointment and we'll see if I go into labor. It's now Saturday and I am 40 weeks pregnant and 6 days. I will be 41 weeks tomorrow. I went to my appointment and they checked my cervix. I'm only 1 centimeter dilated, so I don't know why, but baby probably won't be coming anytime soon. I asked to have as much time possible to go into labor naturally, but they've booked me in to receive the gel on Thursday, so I'll be admitted on Thursday and then I'll be induced on Friday next week. So hopefully baby comes before then, but if not, I don't know what I can do. It's now about 8 something at night and still no baby. I don't think I'm in labor, and I've done almost everything that I can to put myself in labor. I've been bouncing on my medicine ball. I've been for 2 long walks, one really long walk, and we've had pineapple, we've done the deed, we've done, I don't know what else to do. Let me just start off by saying almost no birth pains go to plan. I gave birth on the 21st of February 2021 at 2:52 p.m. My labor was about 12 hours. I wanted a water birth, but I ended up having to get induced because my labor was taking too long and my contractions were slowing down when I was getting in the warm water. The induction took about 2 hours and my active labor was about less than 20 minutes. I did get it on camera, but it was on time lapse, and my mum's behind is in the entire video. So baby came out 3.217 kilos and she was 52 centimeters tall, which is pretty tall for a baby. She's got a little bit of hair and she's got beautiful black big eyes. She's got the most perfect hands and she's got her father's feet, so sorry baby. I think the hardest thing about your first pregnancy is that you don't know what pains to look for when you think you're in labor. So across I think 3 days I recorded that I thought I was in labor, but they just went away and they were just assuming they were Braxton Hicks. On Saturday the 20th of February 2021 I was going to the bathroom and I was getting pains. It was 10 or 11 at night and I kept needing to pee and I kept having weird like cramping pain, like period cramp pains, but I didn't want to really take any action from those pains because I didn't want to be wrong and then go to the hospital and they're like, no, you're not, just wait, because I was 40 weeks pregnant and 6 days, but it went past 12 in the morning and we went to the hospital around midnight and 2. You could have 2 people in the room and I had my partner and my mum decided to come in, and I was supposed to have my mate come in and do photography, videography, and just make memories of the moments. And when we got to the hospital, I didn't really have a choice of whether my mum came in because she just walked in the door. So from 12 till 2 I had the monitors on my belly, and then at 2 they asked me if I wanted to stay for 4 hours and see what happened, and then they would take it from there, or I could go home and try and get some rest. And because I really wanted my friend to be there, I asked to go home and have some rest, and then we'd come back if anything happened. And at 2:30 we were at my parents' house, and I was on the bed and I could not lay down and go to sleep. I was on my hands and knees, like with my head on the bed, and I just felt this gush, and I thought it was me peeing. It was only a little bit, so I was like, maybe I did pee myself. And then from 2:30 till 4:30 in the morning, I was going to the bathroom and just being in so much pain, and then needing to go to the bathroom as well. I tried to have a shower. That did work for a bit, but because I was in so much pain, I just, yeah. So at 4:30 in the morning, I ended up waking up my partner because he was asleep in the bed with me, and he told me to call the hospital and just tell them. And I told them that my water had broken at 2:30, and they were like, you should have come in then and not waited 2 hours. But I thought that you needed to wait until your contractions were really, really bad, and then you go to the hospital so you're not spending a lot of time there. And so we went to the hospital at 4:30, and my contractions I thought were bad, but they weren't as bad as my body thought they were. When we got into the bed, they had put the monitors on me, and baby doesn't even like when I wear underwear, so having 2 monitors strapped on my belly and contractions was just really bad pain, and I couldn't deal with it, and I just wanted her to take them off. And they pretty much just put them on and let me sleep, because I didn't know, but they were actually waiting for baby to wake up because she was asleep. I don't know why. Throughout my whole pregnancy, baby was on my spine, and I had a lot of back pain, which explains why I'm on my side. And yes, I am wearing a massive pad or diaper that clearly isn't covering my behind properly. But in my defense, I didn't set up the camera, nor did I have the energy to do so, because this clip is probably somewhere between 6 and 10 a.m.
Do you want to say anything to the camera? Because it's going.
After my water broke, it's honestly all a blur, and I don't remember most of it, but I can tell you they gave me the gas not long after I arrived, again. I thought these tiny contractions were bad, but as you'll probably be able to tell, they get so much worse. After receiving the gas, I tried to have a nap because I knew I'd need the energy to give birth, but I accidentally had too much and threw up on myself and my gas tube. I was so embarrassed, but the midwives didn't even care. They just told me to go have a shower and get the bath ready. Unfortunately, both the shower and bath made my contractions slow down almost completely, and at that point I realized that baby was continuing to sleep because of the warmth. About an hour after getting out of the bath and being glued to the toilet, the doctor came in and told me I'd probably have to be induced, and he gave me an hour to go into labour naturally before inducing me. See that massive long stick? Yeah, that thing was used to break my water because apparently it hadn't fully broken. You can imagine how uncomfortable it was for me, and my waters continued to leak until I gave birth. Fun. Before I was induced, I asked if I could go on my hands and knees to give birth. because my back was in so much pain, but the doctor said it would be difficult because I needed to be monitored carefully due to the induction. I was induced between 12 and 1 in the afternoon. They started with 15 mils, then 30, then 60. I'm not too sure why, but apparently the induction didn't take as long as it should have, and I was in active labour within 2 hours. And let's just say the nurses and midwives weren't expecting it. Contractions are personally 100 times worse than active labour. It literally feels like your body is ripping itself open from the inside, which is kind of true because your cervix is opening up for the baby and everything else to come through. Throughout my labour, I was looked after by about 5 different midwives, and as I was getting closer to active labour, no one was checking how dilated I was, and it came to a point where my body was literally trying to push my insides out. And it was really scary because I was nervous I was going to get hemorrhoids, and the midwife made it seem like I was trying to push when really I lost control over my body. After about 3 intense contractions where I almost broke my partner's hand in pain, did the midwife finally check my dilation. Then she called my partner over to come check it out, and she says, "Look, there's the head."
Baba, Baba, it's okay. That's because you love me as well.